Since Caitlin Clark has entered the league, the prevailing conversation around the WNBA has been drawing power.
Angel Reese once boldly claimed that she was the reason people were tuning into women's basketball. Not a reason. The reason. She strutted into interviews with the confidence of a legend in the making, crowned herself the Bayou Barbie, and made it clear that wherever she went, the eyes would follow. So when she returned to her old stomping grounds at LSU for a preseason WNBA game with the Chicago Sky, you'd think the red carpet, or in this case the purple one, would have been rolled out in her honor. You'd expect crowds, chants, confetti, maybe even a standing ovation from the fans who once roared her name. But what actually happened was the total opposite.
There's one thing that Angel Reese is not. Angel Reese is not a draw. If you haven't believed me before, this weekend further proved that point, because the Bayou Barbie was officially rejected in the Bayou. Angel Reese was rejected at home.
Instead of a hero's welcome, Angel Reese walked into a half-empty arena. That 13,000-seat stadium barely cracked 6,300 in attendance, and that's if you believe the generous estimates. Rows of purple seats sat untouched. Ticket prices? Dirt cheap? Some were being handed out for free, and still, they couldn't fill the building. It was supposed to be a full-circle moment for one of the most talked-about players in women's basketball, but the silence in Baton Rouge was deafening. You couldn't help but wonder, was this a homecoming or a wake?
How embarrassing! Now, you're not going to hear this from the mainstream media, who continues to pretend that the Bayou Barbie is beloved. You're not going to hear this from the media, who continues to pretend that Angel Reese is a huge star.
The LSU faithful were supposed to show out. This was the campus where Angel Reese transformed into a household name, where she danced on national TV after winning a title, and where she built her brand as one of the most polarizing figures in the sport. Fans once screamed her name like she was LSU's Beyoncé. But when she came back in a WNBA jersey, you could practically hear a pin drop in the stands.
The Chicago Sky go into LSU, the home court of Angel Reese. Man, it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit.
The upper deck of the arena never even opened. Why? Because they couldn't sell enough tickets to justify staffing it. Entire sections of the lower bowl were bare, looking more like the setup for a high school JV game than a professional showcase. The silence wasn't just awkward, it was loud, and no amount of Instagram filters or post-game quotes could cover up the gaping holes in the crowd. This was supposed to be her big moment. Instead, it looked like a flop from every angle.
Nobody showed up to this sucker. Nobody. Let me just blow this. Look at that. I noticed it right off the bat. Look, number one, look at all the purple seats down here in this lower bowl section. And then the entire top bowl, forget about it. Forget about it.
Let's break it down. To hit just half capacity, LSU would have needed at least 6,670 fans in the seats. They missed that by over 300, not even close. For someone who claimed to be the needle in women's basketball, this turnout was a harsh reality check. Even more shocking? Tickets were practically being given away. Some were listed for $15. Others were free. Still, fans didn't bite. You could have tossed in a coupon, free snacks, and a selfie with the team, and it wouldn't have helped.
Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese are not the same. Both had their homecoming celebrations this weekend. One of them sold out in 27 minutes. The other one couldn't give away free tickets.
And the visuals, they were brutal. Fans, what few were there, snapped photos of the cavernous gaps between attendees. Social media lit up with image after image of the arena looking like a ghost town. Entire rows untouched. A sea of plastic chairs staring back at Angel Reese, empty and uninterested. For someone who once declared she was changing the game, this looked less like a revolution and more like a forgotten open mic night.
In case you were wondering, I did do the math. How many seats were actually left last night? Over 6,800. In a 13,000 capacity arena, there was over 6,800 seats. still available. And some people were saying, by the way, that literally there were some $15 tickets out there.
While Angel was facing an awkward silence in Baton Rouge, Caitlin Clark was making noise, big noise, some 800 miles away. Her preseason debut with the Indiana Fever sold out in just 27 minutes. Let that sink in. A WNBA preseason game, not a playoff, not even regular season, sold out faster than you can say Bayou Barbie. Fans were refreshing ticket sites like it was a Beyoncé concert.
Look at all those empty seats, folks. That is crazy as hell. I mean, empty, all that. Never mind all this. They could have put black tarps over it. Look at that. Look at that. Look, the WNBA still got problems. They got problems over and beyond one player. I don't know what they do about it.
The arena was electric. Every seat filled. Every fan on their feet, phones up, energy off the charts. Scalpers were flipping tickets like it was gold. Local vendors smiled, team accountants celebrated, and social media couldn't stop buzzing. Caitlin wasn't just playing a game. She was creating a moment people had to witness in person. The difference between the two events wasn't just noticeable. It was embarrassing for Reese by comparison.
The Brazilians sent their national team to Baton Rouge to open the WNBA preseason against the Chicago Bravado. The event was marketed as a homecoming for Angel Reese. The Bayou Barbie returns to the Bayou to be worshipped by her millions and millions of adoring fans.
Here's the harsh truth. Caitlin Clark is a baller. Angel Reese? She's starting to look like a brand first and an athlete second. Sure, Angel has millions of followers, fashion deals, and viral moments, but Caitlin has what actually matters: butts in seats and fans who show up. You can't filter or finesse those numbers. You either draw a crowd or you don't.
Good luck finding affordable tickets for the Indiana Fever preseason game against Brazil at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Seats at the arena for the May 4th matchup between the Indiana Fever and Brazil were first offered to season ticket holders and a few top donors. It didn't take long for them to be gone.
Social media likes don't convert to ticket sales if the product on the court doesn't match the hype. While Angel trends on TikTok, Caitlin trends in the actual arena. Reese can wear designer outfits and trend for her clapbacks, but when it's time to hoop, when the lights come on and the crowd is supposed to follow, Caitlin's the one commanding attention. She isn't asking to be the face of women's basketball. She already is.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Let's not forget both players had their homecoming games around the same time. Reese returned to LSU. Clark returned to Iowa. One looked like a high school scrimmage with discounted snacks. The other looked like the Super Bowl. Caitlin Clark had fans camping out online, paying hundreds of dollars just for a chance to see her shoot a basketball in warm-ups. That's not normal. That's stardom.
The crowd was praising their Bayou Barbie. The chants of Angel Reese could be heard all the way in the third row. Problem is, I wouldn't exactly call it a crowd. Even calling it a small gathering might be inappropriate. Perhaps a more suitable description would be a family reunion.
Meanwhile, Angel's big moment fizzled before it even started. This was the place that supposedly adored her, the place she brought a championship to. If her own fan base couldn't be bothered to show up, what does that say about her so-called drawing power? This wasn't a one-off. It was a pattern, and the numbers don't lie. Caitlin creates moments. Angel creates Instagram stories.
And then here we have today, basically clapping back at all of that and proving that they know that they are the moment, they are the Showtime team, they are.
This isn't just one bad night for Reese. This is becoming a trend. Her debut games in Chicago didn't sell out either. Meanwhile, teams across the league are upgrading arenas just to host Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Some are moving their games to NBA-level venues because the demand is so high. That's not hype. That's economic impact. That's a traveling phenomenon in sneakers.
Now, what I also think is hilarious is that they took that a step further. So if you go to the team store, the Indiana Fever's team store, you will see that they have a brand new t-shirt that they are selling. And that t-shirt says, "Every game is a home game." And then on the back, it says, "Now you know," with a sold out banner with all of their basically schedule. It's like a tour t-shirt and it says every game is a home game.
Caitlin isn't just growing the game, she's carrying it. Local news outlets cover her arrival like the Pope just landed. Merch sells out, TV ratings spike, and this is all before she's even played a full WNBA season. Reese can keep the sponsorships and social clout. But the difference between a social media personality and a superstar is simple. Stars sell out buildings. Influencers sell shirts.
As family and friends of Angel Reese welcome the Bayou Barbie back to the Bayou, pay very, very close attention to the so-called crowd. Roll the clip. This was her homecoming. This was supposed to be a night of celebration. It looked like an LSU home game in November of 2023, when Angel Reese was supposedly at the height of her drawing power. Thousands of empty seats.
Angel Reese talks a lot. She's built her image around confidence and style. She knows how to go viral, but when it comes to actual influence on the game, the scoreboard favors Caitlin Clark. Angel might dominate headlines for her fashion or her feuds, but Caitlin dominates the scoreboard, the box office, and the fan base. One is building a legacy, the other is curating a brand.
Sorry, young lady. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody would be watching the WNBA additionally for you. This is all about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is bringing the money to the game, the planes to the game, the TV viewership. The WNBA is on fire because of Caitlin Clark.
Even Reese's mom clapped back at critics, saying they're celebrating championships. That's cute, but where are the fans? Where's the energy? You can't win a championship in front of crickets and expect to be treated like a superstar. The WNBA needs players who don't just talk about change, but bring it. And right now, it's clear who's making it happen.
According to the mother of Angel Reese, who also refers to herself as Angel Reese, according to the original Angel, they are not celebrating her drawing power, mainly because it doesn't exist. They are celebrating championships. Mama Reese got on social media and clapped back at the haters, which in this case were Caitlin Clark fans who were pointing out the empty arena. According to Mama Reese, Caitlin and Angel are not the same. We celebrating championships over here.
This is the reality check. For all her talk about being the reason people care about women's basketball, Angel Reese's own homecoming exposed a brutal truth. The fans weren't buying it. Literally. Seats went unsold. Hype turned to awkward silence. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is packing stadiums, spiking ratings, and selling out venues faster than anyone in league history. If that's not star power, what is?
One of them packed 15,000 paid fans into the arena. The other couldn't fill the lower bowl.
So here's the question. Are we watching a basketball revolution led by a true game changer? Or are we watching someone chase clout with empty promises and emptier seats? The numbers tell the story. The arenas tell the story. And every chant for Caitlin Clark is just another reminder. One player is putting women's basketball on the map. The other is watching from the sidelines.